Later. It sounds harmless. Small, safe, temporary. But in finance, later is one of the most expensive words you can ever say. Because every time you delay, saving, investing, learning, building, you're not just losing money. You're losing time. And time is the one thing money can never buy back. Most people don't fail financially because they're lazy. They fail because they believe they still have time. They think, I'll start investing later. I'll save next month. I'll build something someday. But someday quietly becomes years, and years quietly become regret. In this video, we'll talk about why delaying destroys wealth, how later steals your future, the hidden power of time, and why the biggest financial mistake is waiting. Because the cost of waiting is invisible at first. The dangerous comfort of later. Later feels good. That's why it's dangerous. It removes pressure. It lets you enjoy today without sacrifice. You don't need to budget today. You don't need to invest today. You don't need to learn today. Future you will handle it. But here's the problem. Every financial decision compounds, including avoidance. A person who delays investing for 10 years doesn't just lose 10 years. They lose the most powerful years. Because compound growth depends on time more than money. A person who invests early can invest less and still end up with more. Most people think wealth comes from huge income. But often, wealth comes from starting before everyone else did. I'll save next month. This is where many people get trapped. They believe saving starts after a raise, less stress, fewer bills, a better situation. But life rarely becomes cheaper. Expenses grow with income, and waiting creates a habit. The habit of postponing responsibility. The scary part? People don't notice the damage immediately. Because financial decline is usually silent. Not dramatic. It looks normal. Small purchases, monthly payments, subscriptions, impulse spending, tiny delays. Until one day, years are gone, and there's nothing built underneath you. Waiting to start the business. This applies to business too. People wait for perfect timing, more confidence, more money, more knowledge. But confidence usually comes after action, not before it. The truth is, most successful businesses started imperfectly. Bad camera, bad logo, no audience, no certainty. But they started. Meanwhile, others stayed stuck planning forever. And eventually, the fear of starting becomes bigger than the difficulty itself. Compound regret? Everyone understands compound interest. Few people understand compound regret. Regret compounds too. Every year you delay, learning skills, investing, building income, improving habits, the gap becomes harder to close. At 20, 1 year feels small. At 40, you realize 1 year was everything. Because time changes value. A single year early in life can become hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And once that time passes, it's gone forever. The real difference between rich and poor thinking. Wealthy people often think differently about time. Poor thinking says,
how much does this cost today? Wealthy thinking asks, what will this cost me later? Later, interest grows. Opportunities disappear. Energy decreases. Responsibilities increase. The longer you wait, the harder everything becomes. That's why financial freedom rarely comes from intensity. It comes from consistency, started early.
If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. You do not need to be perfect to start. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need a perfect income. You do not need perfect timing. You just need to stop saying later. Because later becomes next year. Next year becomes a decade. And a decade can change your entire life. The people who build wealth are not always smarter. They just started earlier.
If this changed how you think about money, don't just watch and move on. Use it. Because the biggest financial advantage is not intelligence. It's time. And every day you wait, time keeps moving anyway. Subscribe for more videos about money, wealth, and the decisions that shape your future. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.